Hi everyone, welcome to Red Box Sewing and Crafting, and welcome to my craft room. I'm Joanna. So we are continuing the recipe album, and this is going to be the pages. So for the base pages, you will need 3 pieces that are 6 by 12, and 3 pieces that are 1 by 6. And we're going to score those really quick. The 6 by 12s you want to score with the 12 inches at the top at 6. And the 1 by 6s you want to score with the 1 inch at the top at half. So we are going to burnish and fold and burnish everything. And with the 6 by 12s, I find it easier to just put them in my scoreboard and fold them that way. Even though I did score them just so that they're as even as I can get them. And just one. We're going to leave the 6 by 12s alone for now and work on the 1 by 6s. You just want to miter these on the 2 sides so that it looks like this. The folded edge has the 6 inch and then they miter outward. And you want to do that to all 3. To make the pages, we are going to take a hinge and going to add it to one side. And you want to make sure that you're not going over the edge of the page, or you want to make sure that you can fold it. So don't go over the score mark in the page. So you want to do it to one of the edges. You don't want it to do it to the side. Now we're just going to glue this closed. Like that. And then this will be the side of your page, and then the folded edge is going to be your bottom. So we're going to do that with our other two really quick. For the first page, we will need 2 pieces that are 3 3/8 by 6, 1 3.5 by 3.5, and 1 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. The 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 is going to be the mat that holds the flaps closed. So we will put that off to the side. The other pieces we need to score. With the 3 3/8 inch at the top, we're going to score at 1/2 inch on both pieces. And then with the 3.5 by 3.5, you want to score at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Before we fold and mite our pieces, we need to cut our 3.5 by 3.5. And you need to cut this in half diagonally. So put this in your paper trimmer, corner to corner, just like this. And cut it in half. So that you get 2 pieces that look like this. And now we can fold and burnish on all of the score marks that we made. With these 2 pieces, we are just going to miter the corners. And then with our triangles, you want to cut the square corner out, and then to miter the other 2 corners, I like to fold the sides in like this, and then kind of find a nice place where it's hidden. And just kind of hold my scissors there, and then cut. So then it'll look kind of like this. Maybe that's the same thing with our other one. And now we can add them to our page. Score tape. So grab your first page and remember the hinge side goes out and then the folded section is the bottom. So you want the open part to be on your left right now and the hinge on your right. Going to take our flaps here. And we're going to add them to the sides of our page. And you want to line them up with the edge of the page. And you will have a slight gap in the center, but that is okay. That is what we want. So then we're going to take our triangle pieces here. And we're going to put them on the bottom of our flaps. And they're not going to go all the way to both corners. So you want to put them to the edge of the page. What? Just go. Just want to add them to the edge of the page. They won't go to the corners. So they're just going to go right like this. And we're going to add the second one to the second side. And when you are putting your pattern pieces on your pattern paper, just cut out a square that is two and a quarter inches. And then just cut that in half diagonally. And there's our second side. And then we just take our 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 and put it in the pocket, just like so. Page 2. Pages 2 and 3 are going to be the same. They're just going to be mirrored. So we'll do pages 2 and 3 at the same time, and then we'll go on from there. So for pages 2 and 3, you will need 2 2.5 by 6s and 2 5 by 6s. With the 5 by 6, you want the 5 inch at the top and score at half. With the 2.5 by 6, you want the 2.5 inches at the top and score at half. And we're just going to burnish and miter just like normal, so I'm going to do that really quick and then we can put it together. It's time to put the pages together. So with our 2.5 by 6s, we are going to put them on the hinge side, or the open side. So make sure it's going the right direction. And then we're just going to put this on, lining it up with the edge of the page. So there's the first one. And then the second one. Add this to the center of our layout, just like so. And then our 5 by 6s are going to go on the opposite side of the pages. So these go on this side. And on this side. So they'll look like this. The closure for these is going to be another swing tab. So I have my 2 swing tabs already made. You need to cover the 2.5 by 6 inch pieces. So that's going to be 1 7/8 by 6. 1 7/8 by 5 7/8. That's the size. You need 2 1 7/8 by 5 7/8. So add your pieces on. And then your swing tabs are going to be on opposite sides. So they need to have holes on either side of the pieces. So I'm going to poke this one here. And this one, I'm going to poke here. And now we need to add them to our pages. So I'm just going to line this up. Let's see if centering this works. And then another way you can check is to stick your pokey tool in, and if it swings out, you're good, and then you can just poke it. Sometimes it doesn't work, but if you get a nice indentation, you should be able to find the hole, and then you can just poke it. Like that. So there's the first one. And then we need to do the second one. So right there. That's good. Then poke the hole. We have both of our holes. So now we can add our brads. Oh, don't want that one. Here we go. And just put the brad through the ephemera piece, and then through the hole in the flat, and then flatten the legs down as far as they will go. And this time you can use some score tape. And I have 1 inch here that I'm just going to put on the backs. And then they can close. So page 1 is fully done, so I'm going to set that aside. And now page 2, do the same thing. Add score tape on top. And here's page 3. Pages 4 and 5 are the same slightly. They are just flipped. So page 4 goes this way, and then page 5 is flipped like this. I do have ephemera pieces. If you don't want that, you could just put little pieces of cardstock on top with magnets, or you can do the foam tape, which is what I'm going to be doing. So you need, for pages 4 and 5, pages 4 and 5, you need 8 3 3/4 by 5 1/4 and 2 2 by 4 1/2. With the 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, you want the 3 3/4 at the top. You're going to score at 1/2 inch. That's going to be on all 8 pieces. And with the 2 by 4 1/2, with the 4 1/2 at the top, again, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. So we are going to be burnishing all of our pieces again. Excuse me. But you are only going to be minoring the 2 by 4 1/2. You are not going to be minoring the 3 3/4 by 5 1/4 pieces. So just miter these 2 pieces, and then these pieces just get folded. Now that they're all folded, it's time to put this page together, or these pages together. So for page 4, you want to add your tab to the bottom. So I'm going to flip this around, making sure that it's going the right way. I'm going to add this to the center of my page. Just like so. And with page 5, the tab goes at the top. Again, centering it on my mat here, and I'm going to use it to center my tab. Just like this. Before we can add the waterfall pieces on here, we need to add pattern paper to the back. And you need 2 pieces that are 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. So we're just going to add these to our pages here. Now we can add our pieces. So we need to start at 3/4 or 3/8 of an inch at the top with this page, and then 3/8 of an inch at the bottom with this one. And then it's going to be 3/8 of an inch on either side. So I'm just going to set my ruler on the side. And line up my first piece at 3/8 of an inch. And once this piece is down, there we go. Once this piece is down, then you can add the other 3 underneath it. Just want to butt the next one up against the last one. And there's the first waterfall. And now we can work with this one. So again, 3/8 of an inch on the sides and 3/8 of an inch from the bottom. So I'm going to line up my ruler with the edge of the page. And then just stick this down at 3/8 of an inch. Just like so. And then I can add my last 3 pages underneath. And the last piece. Just like so. And now you have your 2 waterfalls. If you are going to do the waterfalls the way I'm doing them, you need 2 pieces that are 3 1/8 by 5 1/8. So I have my 2 pieces of pattern paper here. I'm going to glue them on the top waterfall pieces. One piece is gonna go right here. And the second piece will go right here. You will need foam tape and 2 ephemera pieces that fit over your flaps. So you want to decide which one's going where, and then easy way to do it is to just take the piece, flip it around, and then kind of mark around the piece, the flap. So that you know where you're putting your foam stickers. And then you just take the foam stickers and stick them around the edge. And I find that it's better to use glue on the foam stickers, even though they are adhesive, because then they stick better. And they don't come up. I have added the foam stickers all around and I took the backings off of them, so now I'm going to attach them to my pages here. And I'm going to try to hold the tab in so that I know where to stick it down. And there you go. It's page 4 done. So we can put this page off to the side. And then we can work on this one. Flip it around to make it easier. A little bit of glue. And then we're just going to place the tab in the center of the ephemera piece and just stick it down like so. And there's page 5 done. So now we just have page 6. For page 6, you will need 1 3x7 and 1 9 by 4.5. 4.5 by 9 is actually going to be a little booklet that goes in the pocket. So starting on the 7-inch side, you're going to score on 3 sides at half an inch. So half an inch, turn, half inch, turn, half inch. And then with our 4.5 by 9, with the 9 at the top, we're going to score at 4.5 inches. So we're just going to fold the 4.5 by 9 in half, and then we could set this off to the side and work on our pocket. So just burnish on all sides. And we're going to miter the top 2 corners. And we're going to cut out these squares at the bottom. Like so. Gonna add some score tape to the pocket here. And since this is a pocket, I am going to notch the center again. So if I can do some math and figure out what the center is, that would be nice. Center, and now we need our page. Making sure that it's the right way. We're going to be adding our pocket on this side. So it's the opposite side of where the page hinges. Line this up with the page, just like so, and then we can add some Scotch tape on top of the tab. Just put down, and then we can glue the sides down. Just like so. And then you can add your little booklet inside. And now all our pages are done. It's time to add them into our little book, to our album. I find it easiest to add score tape to the pages, or to the hinge. What I like to do is take a little bit of score tape and just put it at the very top of the hinge on both sides. If you don't want to use score tape, you can mark with a pencil where you want to put your pages, because you will need space for the pages to move. If you put them down to the base of the hinge, it won't lay flat. So I have tape on all my hinges, and I'm going to start with the back one. So I'm going to remove score tape on both sides. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to my hinge, and I'm going to take the last page here and remove my booklet, and I'm just going to slide it in, making sure that my page lines up with the score tape. And it might take a couple tries to get it where you want it to be. But once you're happy with the placement, you can stick it down. And then you have a pocket at the top too. Next page. Just slide it in. And then stick it down. And the last page. I'm going to remove the mat in the front. Add your glue. And then you can take your page and slide it in. And stick it down. And now all your pages are in your album. There's one more thing that we can add before this is done, and that is inserts for more recipes, because you can never have enough recipes. Inserts are going to be 5 by 6 3/8. And I made the tabs on mine 3 inches wide. So what I did was I just marked where I wanted to punch. And then I have my envelope punch here, and I'm just going to punch to make a tab, just like this. And then take a ruler, or you can also use your paper trimmer if you want, but I find it easier to use a ruler and my X-Acto blade here, and just trim off the excess, just like so. And then you have a nice little tab or insert that fits perfectly in your page and has a little tab at the top. So I hope you had fun making this with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.